Good day, everyone, especially to our course professor. Before I continue, let me introduce myself. I am Shella Balatico, together with my co-reporter, Judette Angela Ortega, and we will be talking about administrative strategic functions. Ano nga ba ang administrative strategic functions? So, these are like steps that help us guide our organization's work in the community. Para itong heart ng organization. It's pumping, it's working, it's functioning para i-guide ang organization sa pagtulong sa community nangangailangan. These steps are all linked. Ibig sabihin, lahat sila connected. In short, these are steps that guides the organization para suportahan ng mga taong in need. In this presentation, we will specifically focus on policy formulation and planning. Sa social work, para itong compass at saka map. They help the workers to set the direction and figure out paano ma-achieve yung goal na tulungan ang community na umangat. Now, let's discuss what policy formulation is. So, let's take it this way. Ang policy formulation ay parang paggawa ng detailed plan para sa future ng organization. Para siyang architect na nagdidisenyo ng building. Tinitingnan dito yung goals, yung challenges, at resources para sure na may clear direction ang isang organization. Ngayon naman, I will discuss the key stages of policy formulation, and in every stages, we will use addressing poverty as an example. Ang unang stage ng policy formulation ay ang problem identification. Dito, nire-recognize yung mga critical issues na kailangang solusyonan. For instance, napapansin mo na sa isang community, maraming pamilya ang hirap mag-provide ng basic needs nila, and this is a sign of poverty. Next step ay ang agenda setting. Dito, we are deciding what to address first. Nag-decision tayo kung ano yung uunahin nating gawin or solusyonan. Sa dami ba ng problema sa poverty, ano yung mas kailangang unahin? Mas urgent ba na ayusin yung unemployment or yung kakulangan sa affordable housing? Next naman ay ang policy analysis. Dito, iniintindi natin kung ano yung ugat ng problema or in English, understanding the root causes. Dito, kailangan nating dig deep. For instance, bakit kaya maraming pamilya ang naghihirap? Dahil ba sa walang mahanap na trabaho? Or is it because of inefficient education? Ang fourth stage naman ay ang formulation of options. Dito na nangyayari yung pagbe-brainstorm para makahanap ng solution o dito na tayo gumagawa ng possible solutions. For example, kailangan ba nila ng job training programs? Kailangan ba nila ng affordable housing initiatives? Next is ang policy selection. Dito na tayo pumipili ng pinaka-impactful na solution. Pipiliin dapat dito yung best option. For instance, ano nga ba yung pinaka-effective para gumawa ng pangmatagalang pagbabago para sa poverty? Second to the last stage ay ang proposal development. Dito na tayo gumagawa at nagsusulat ng comprehensive plan. Nakalagay dito kung ano yung specific program na solution sa poverty, ano yung mga resources na kailangan, at nakalagay din dito yung expected outcomes mo. And last stage of policy formulation ay ang adoption. Dito tayo nagpe-present sa board para ma-approve at makuha natin yung funds na gagamitin para sa project. Getting the green light para ma-implement ang plan. Kasi once approved, we can put our plan into action para labanan ng poverty. Again, policy formulation is the foundation that helps the organization to thrive and make a real difference. So now, let's move on to the strategic importance. These are the things naman that make sure na yung policy or plan na ginawa ay talagang mag-fit sa big goals ng organization or ng group so that everything will work smoothly and work well together. It's like making sure na lahat ng puzzle pieces ay connected perfectly to finish the picture. First thing is the alignment. Think of this like making sure na lahat ng both ay tumatakbo patungo sa same direction. Kasi pag naka-align yung policies, it will support the organization's main goals at walang hilahan laban sa isa't isa. Next is the rational outcomes. Dito naman, it is like having a clear recipe sa pagbe-bake ng cake. When you follow the steps, you'll get the cake you want. Kasi ang policy ay gumagamit ng clear plans para ang results ay predictable and will make sense. The third one is the accountability. Imagine may game kung saan each player's moves are tracked. Kasi accountability means knowing who's responsible for what para yung mga taong involved can be praised or tulungan sila depending on how well they do. The last thing is efficiency and effectiveness. This means working smart, not just hard. Parang paggamit ng best tools and strategies para maayos yung isang bagay ng mabilis at maayos without wasting time or resources. To discuss what planning is, I will now give the floor to Ms. Ortega.
And now, let's proceed sa isa pang strategic function which is ang planning. Pero before everything, merong isang quote dito na nagsasabi na fail to plan is planning to fail. So, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin nito? Ang sinasabi dito ay, if you don't make a plan before taking actions, you are almost setting yourself up to fail. Because planning helps us foresee problems, organize resources, and work efficiently towards our goals. Without plans, mistakes, confusions, or wasted efforts are very likely to happen. And now, let's proceed sa planning. Planning can be defined as the process of setting goals, developing strategies, outlining implementation arrangements, and allocating resources to achieve goals. So basically, ang planning ay isang process of thinking ahead and organizing the steps needed to achieve a specific goals. It involves deciding what needs to be done, how it will be done, who will do it, and when it will be done. So, in simple terms, ang planning ay nag-ensure na alam natin kung ano yung gusto nating gawin, paano tayo makakarating doon, at kung ano yung mga kailangan nating gawin para makarating doon. Ito ay parang roadmap na nag-ensure na nakikita natin yung direction kung ano yung gusto nating puntahan or kung ano yung gusto nating gawin. Next, we have key roles of planning function. First, we have set clear goals. Planning helps define what you want to achieve. So with clear goals, we are given direction and purpose so everyone knows what they are working towards. Second, predict and forecast future trends. Planning involves anticipating what might happen in the future. This helps prepare for challenges and opportunities. Third, make informed decision. With a plan, decisions are based on facts, analysis, and prior knowledge, and not on guesswork. Fourth, allocate tasks efficiently. Planning ensures everyone knows their responsibilities, reducing confusion and duplication of work. Fifth, we have optimized resource usage. This means that planning helps use resources like time, money, and manpower effectively. Sixth, we have create a supportive environment. Because planning fosters an organized and cooperative atmosphere, helping team work together smoothly. For number 7, we have adapt to changes flexibly. This means that good planning allows adjustments when unexpected changes occur. Lastly, we have measure progress and evaluate outcomes. This means that planning allows us to track progress and assess results, so we know whether our goals are being met or not. And here are the steps in planning functions. First, define objectives. The first step is to clearly state what you want to achieve. Objectives should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Second, gather information. Sa step na to, kinakollect na natin lahat ng necessary data and information relevant to the goal. Third, analyze the situation. Dito, kailangan nating ma-understand ang current condition, challenges, and opportunities. Sa pamamagitan nito, mas makakabuo tayo ng isang realistic na plano. Fourth, develop strategies. Fifth, we have resource allocation. Dito ay na-identify na natin ang mga resources na kakailanganin para sa implementation. Kabilang dito ang financial, manpower, technicalities, and materials. Number 6, create a timeline. Number 7, we have coordination and communication. This ensures that all the team members know kung ano yung role na piniplay nila sa isang implementation, and mahalaga rin na magkaroon ng isang effective communication para nagkakaintindihan at alam nating lahat kung saan papunta. Number 8, flexibility. Dito kailangan ready tayo mag-adapt sa mga changes na maaaring mangyari dahil sa mga unexpected challenges na mag-a-arise. Number 9, monitor and evaluate. Dito tinatrack na natin yung progress para makita if yung objectives ba ay nami-meet, at dito rin natin i-assess yung effectiveness ng ginagawa natin. Lastly, learn and improve. Dito maaari nating magamit yung mga insights from evaluation and monitoring para sa pag-improve pa ng plano. Learning from experience strengthens the future planning. Next slide, meron tayo ditong mga katangian na dapat meron ng isang plano. Una, dapat ang plano ay consistent with human needs. Dapat ina-address nito ang tunay na pangangailangan ng mga tao na nakafocus sa human well-being at hindi lamang sa pag-fulfill ng organizational procedures. Pangalawa, dapat nakabase ito sa philosophy of the profession and the agency. Plans should be aligned with the values and mission of the profession and the organization implementing them. Pangatlo, dapat ang plano ay based sa research. Dapat ito ay nakarely sa evidence and data at hindi sa assumptions. Another ay flexible enough to adapt to changes. So, as mentioned earlier, dapat willing tayo sa adjustments na pwedeng mangyari sa plano dahil nga may mga unexpected situation na maaaring mangyari. Ang plano ay dapat ding easily communicated and understood. Everyone na kasama sa plano ay dapat clearly na understand kung ano yung ginagawa nila at kung ano yung role na piniplay nila. At ang panghuli, dapat it contribute to the improvement of service. Plan should aim to enhance the quality and effectiveness of service delivered. And that's all for planning function.